Hello, welcome to another video. I thought I'd have a look at doing maybe something with the Spider-Man editor again. So, I don't know, maybe something that kind of occurs to me as I kind of go around. I hadn't used this in a while, but from memory, we can, is it like, uh, what are the keys? We have this. Um, Yeah, I thought it was out, then moved, and it would do a thing. That was quite loud. I know it would be from that. Um, uh, Shift is move thing, and Alt is stretch thing. So if I go like that, so that is doing that, and can move that little thing about. Can move this about. Can make it a little bigger. Um, And I can see here it gives me some like kind of information about the uh, thing I'm under. Potentially, uh, I think I want to copy the what do I want to copy? I want to copy from Spider that there's rooms not original, and I just want to copy it to the current folder, I think, is yeah, the current folder is where it reads it from. Um, so what if I go over a switch? It doesn't really show anything because I suppose the debug is right below it. And what else doesn't it show that could be kind of interesting? It's got a kind of blank line, which I feel potentially could get yoinked up. And so I guess while I'm thinking of this, we can look at editor.c and this is all done in like the redraw function from memory. Yeah, so in the redraw function, we do a whole bunch of stuff. It's kind of like a weird way of drawing things. It kind of just it came as a debug type editor, but it's kind of turned into maybe a bit more, but it was intended to replace the kind of older. We had well, there still is a whole bunch of commands, but there's this very overloaded patch command which you can do a bunch of patching, but you can patch specific things by number, I guess, which is potentially easy for scripting. Which I have a couple of scripts to pinch to maybe do this. There's a high score. That one was a fun one. Uh, I mean, we can potentially see what it does. It kind of just gets a empty room and does some things, and then just patches something in the last level. Yeah, so patches a thing. So if we turn it on, straight away, I guess. Or no, we make the ledge he's walking on. We just make that fire before doing it. I think that's kind of what that's doing. But we delete everything else and everything except for 63. Um, it was kind of good fun doing that, but yeah, I mean that's kind of an example of what we can do there. It's kind of interesting because the I mean in here we can see that we do some patching of tiles and we can read a file from that. But we don't really edit any switches in that. I think this didn't really do much of that's like a very ancient script I had. I don't really have anything new to kind of edit a switch, which perhaps I will kind of start off with doing it here. Like, it would be kind of useful to see what these switches do. And I guess we can start with that. We're already in an editor. So we can look for debug switches, and if we are debugging a switch, we still have some objects that we don't um, do. This is if we're not editing. So if we're not doing that, it'll just say debug object. I wonder whether we should print anything. Well, like it is kind of still useful to do that. But perhaps then I wonder if we just do it for everything. Can we do something like this now? Cool. And then no, because that says like create one. But perhaps I can get to there and get there and come back and do that. Do something like that. Or I didn't like that. No, we want it if it's true. So that kind of makes sense. So it will. It's not really displaying what we have there. Like here, we'll kind of say what it is. Perhaps this could. Oh, it does say it's a block, and then we say no object here. It's a switch. What's the other type of thing that we can have? Gosh, what a start to this. Because we can have a object. It is just an object or a switch, but is the block? No, a sprite. So this dude, it says it's a sprite and says what it is and what it does. So I think this should be showing there as well, but it's not. And we can perhaps try and work out what it is. So object underneath, we might not set that if we're yeah, so we like kind of only set that at the moment if we are currently editing, but now we kind of want to know it. So perhaps all of this stuff kind of shouldn't be. I'm just like making some edits. Perhaps yeah. This what do we want to do here? I want to kind of delete that. Then like V back to. Can we go back to where we were? No, we can't really do that from here, but we can. Like all of this stuff. I want to go there. Actually, I know how I could have done that a bit quicker. I could have uh, just kept a blank line. So maybe I could have just done that. Yeah, I could have done that. Gone back to where I was. Perhaps do the same. And then that wasn't the key. It was that, but it took me to there, not to there. I suppose because it's got spaces. So perhaps if I instead did I need to do an undo. Yeah, so in fact, if I did something like that, then go to here, then go to there, yeah, and then we can do something like that. And so some of the stuff, the and then here we can do uh, uh, tile edits, do that, and then that would just do all the like kind of printing of stuff. Otherwise, it would uh, just print the player, but it would still pick up all the information that is interesting. So now it shows it's a sprite, but it just always shows there's a sprite. Um, hmm. And they start off as null. Huh. So we taking it from the tile edits pos. So we potentially want to get state tile, edit that bad boy and do that. Otherwise, we want to get is it player? Well, yeah, that would probably be right. And then here we want to just go .ex and I'll change this to that. Is that about right? Is this compiling? Yeah, this is compiling. So cleared it off. So there is like the tricky thing. I think this is like dog shitting, bike shitting a bit too much. So I'm covering R2D2, but I don't really want to show it like all the time, or like maybe I do. Um, but I think let's go back to this and like think of what we might want to print for the switches, I guess. So if we maybe still has this, so if we're debugging switches, I just want to test one thing. Now that I've done this, can we turn off object? Yeah. But now it won't print it because it doesn't really exist there. But if we turn it on, then it will show it. So if we are debugging switches, we kind of want to see, maybe remind myself of uh, how switches kind of work. So in, I believe you have a room and you have like a switch. Yeah, so you can have a few different types of switches. So I guess we just got to start with that and kind of put some cases in. Not cases, doing some bash programming on the side just for a little bit of fun. Yeah. I want to do a switch. And so, like in C, you would do a switch on a type of enum. So you might have a thing, and then you would have case whatever. Yeah, if it's the direction, you might have case horizontal blah. One thing that C has is like it doesn't explicitly like if you don't put something in, it will do both. If you don't put in that break. Whereas newer languages, you do it, and you can have a default case. But in Bash, you would do something like uh, get the thing and do that, and you want to have it a case in, and inside of it you would have like horizontal and do your thing, but you got to end it with the two semicolons, or you can do either that or that, which will fall through instead. And you can have the default. And this is, you don't actually have default like that. You have like star. And like perhaps do that. No, I think star covers it. So this kind of does string matching, or like perhaps even regular extraction matching, but I think just string matching. And then you would end it with ESAC, because of course, why would you not do it? You might notice that this is just case backwards, but yeah, that is a little bit of Bash programming. That's why I said I must have said case to get on that little side track. But yeah, so we've got a switch, and so the switch underneath, we've put a few different types of switches. So we've got a switch underneath, we've got a chunk switch underneath, we've got a chunk underneath. So one is a switch object. Not there. That's all my binaries that start with a J on the system. But yeah, so in switch underneath, this is a switch object, and so this is right. So a switch object is just something that has a bunch of switch chunks. This is right, and the first chunk from memory is a preamble, which gives information. Right, so this chunk is a bit overloaded. I recall this. This file actually has some unsaved stuff. So is it like that? Yes. Let me take this. Right, so this switch chunk is a tad overloaded because it depends on what type of thing it is. So we could look in like catch. I think I know. We've got like a bunch of files though. Maybe it's in main, but perhaps it should go into patch because it's like doing a patch instruction. But yeah, so in main we have main patch, which will do a thing. This should probably, once it gets all the arguments, just go out to where it is, but instead it is, well, I don't know. I guess it's parsing the whole command line to see what sort of thing it is. But yeah, in here we will have a it's just in my type. Now, so when we had the switch thing, we actually wanted a switch chunk. So yeah, so the switch chunk is like just for a few things. Do we have like a case on like what type of chunk it is? Now I could just set anything that is right. Yeah, so I think we need to go back to here and no, go back to editor. Sorry, I'm jumping about. So in the editor, we need to find the debug switch, and I wanted to know. So we have a switch underneath. Is chunk switch underneath and a chunk underneath, which will give us the chunk in the object. And so this is set when we iterate just over all the switches. So if we have a switch where the preamble is there, so I think this would be the case where I'm over a switch. And so we would get the switch underneath. We could, and so that switch will tell me some information. We also have the case where I could be sitting on this, which I think will be the case here, which will set the chunk underneath and the chunk switch underneath, which will set it to this 54 here, because that is the one. And it will just set it to the last one that fits that requirement. And then it will come back down to here. Cool. So I think I'm just going to start going and we'll see what happens. I'm going to start with the, if we have a switch underneath us, so if this not equal to null, then we have a switch underneath. I think I need to get a bit more information again. So this was a switch object. That is all my things starting with J again. So when I did switch object, it just has chunks. So what I want to do is switch on like the type of the first chunk, because if the first chunk is a preamble, yeah. So if the first, oh no, so for each, but we're on the switch, but the switch has a whole bunch of chunks. So which chunk should we show? I guess we could just show a list of all the chunks, line by line, maybe tab indented. Yes, I remember how it was. It was kind of a weird thing. And the naming just stuck from when I first did it. And I'm like conscious that this project is it's on the GitHubs. People can use it. Feel free. I'll be interested in like what people like run into, what bugs they kind of hit, to fix it. If other people fix it, that's even better. But maybe it's even better, maybe it's not. Who knows? But nah, it would be kind of cool to see a bit more people kind of use this. Could be cool. Right, so I guess if we that preamble thing, I just want to know a bit more about the preamble and how like where do I like so I've got editor, main, and room. So I guess maybe the room.c I haven't actually had a look at, but yeah, so if we have a preamble, maybe I want to just momentarily bring this up. Conscious that you can't see a few things in here, but all right, so if we get the preamble, we're just printing stuff out. It kind of could be good to, I don't know. It gets kind of hard to read what is kind of printing and what's really happening here, because this is just kind of setting up a color code. This is ending a color code, but then starting a new color code. But yeah, um, here we have a thing. So we basically check whether it is a toggle block or we're just checking if it's a toggle block. And if it's a toggle block, then we check whether we're inside of the block. Right, so that's what's happening there. What happens in another place we do that? Right, so here we have all the switches. And so we go through and we get the type. Here is perfect. This is kind of saying what um and like potentially what I could do is change it to be like that because that could make a bit more sense. My thoughts will come out of my head just as I kind of think about it. So we had a yeah, so the switch chunk I think it was, which was like a tad overloaded. It makes what I was thinking was we could have a a preamble switch chunk, and it could have whatever of these is needed to be a preamble, and then in here we can so like in here this had a type somewhere, yeah, so in here the first thing is the type, and then the second field could just be like everything else, like the next thing, which you just don't know what you need to know. But I guess this is like it's kind of tricky to like know the sizes of things for reading memory and whatnot. Because at the moment we know the size of this entire structure, and I think that's potentially why it is. I'll just leave it at that. But now here I have like a um, better understanding. Right, what else did I change in this file? Are we happy with there? Cool. Close that. Might just have a look to see what I've done. Oh, I did that before. I potentially might just make a commit out of that. Um, well, really, I had like commented stuff in there. What I want to do is back down here and maybe go there. Um, yeah, so I think I wanted to do just some, what do I want to do? I want to do like that and that. Voila. Getting a little hard to read. Right, so this one here, we don't really care if we are editing the state until this point here. Um, but that's only if there is no object underneath. So perhaps we can do not that. Undo that, yeah, do that. No, I think it is it's just that, and don't see any bit. Cool, and then we can do that. And I think that is a better unit. And I might just add up this commit. I might split that up. Can we split that up? So this we're just kind of removing all white space, and we're getting a better XY for what we're doing. Yeah, I think that's good. Removing all white space, like indenting, I should say. It's kind of gross doing indents in Git because you see like a bunch of stuff. This is like just adding stuff. Maybe can I like So I split things up. Can I unsplit things up? Stage leave. Yeah, I think I just want to do like this and just see what's happening down here. So if we were tile editing down there, then we do something. So that's like on 900. And what is this? This is all just moving stuff back. Um, and that's not yet. And this was, I thought I'd already staged it. Right, so we're still back to this, which it just kind of seems like that just came out of nowhere, but I wouldn't have just copied code out of nowhere. Kind of odd. And that also seems a little odd. And this, I thought I'd already. I thought I'd already added that, but I thought I'd. I don't know, I'm going in circles. Perhaps I need to go to what there and kind of just see where we got up to. So now it just wants these two things, and I kind of just want to see where that starts. 984, 984. That was kind of in the middle of doing all that. I feel like that would have been kind of bundled up in what I've already kind of committed. Um, yeah, so we like start thing. I'm just gonna do it. Sometimes you just do it, especially if it's just pet projects. But yeah, cool. So do something like that. And then now we're kind of just left with what I want. So this was kind of show oh yeah, debug on non-tile edit mode. And I mean, it kind of is obvious that it's in the editor. Cool. So where did I get up to now? And we can perhaps see it's uh, kind of still does the same thing. Cool. Um, Now, if we were uh, on here, we were going to debug a switch. So, we want to do like size t by 0, it's less than. So we have a switch underneath. It's a pointer, so we want to get the uh, size, I think it is. So we should have no, we had chunks dot size. So this is an array, and an array was my kind of creation. I mean, people do it all over the place, but it's basically wrapping an array in a C structure, which makes it a bit nicer to use an array, if that kind of makes sense. Sorry, I'm just checking on things. That all looks good. Anyway, I'm still. So we will get that. We'll get that. So in this loop here, what do we want to do? So we want to get. Perhaps we don't want to start on the first one, or I don't know. We'll start with the first one, and then kind of move from there. So I think I want to make the chunk. Is this kind of what we might do? So here we not using them good. So we want to get switch underneath and do something like that, and the C can just be I. So at the moment we can kind of get rid of that. So we want to now switch on chunk type, and if it is a preamble, we will maybe do some stuff. Otherwise, we'll not for now. Perhaps I will actually get a little. How do I want to kind of rearrange the screen? I think I want to do something like that. But oh, that's not the key I thought it was. Do we want this? I think we don't care about that. But this can be useful and this can be useful. Right, so I guess here we can make the same assertion that I is equal to 0. It should only happen on the first one. And so here, how do we debug? We do just like printf. So I don't know if I like printf this. So like I think I kind of want to come back to how I want to kind of display this. So this is a switch, and I think everything is kind of lowercase starting. So this is a switch, and when we did the this, we do kind of say what the XY is. So perhaps we also kind of want to say what the XY is. Yeah, maybe this is kind of what I want to do. So I want to do like XY equals so this can be whatever the XY will be. So this will be like yeah, I think I want to start this from 1 and perhaps do this and like do unreachable there instead. Right, so here we do this. And like we still have some data that I don't know about, which could be useful to print there, I guess. So what do we get here? We just have the XY. What else do we want to like kind of print here? Maybe do something like entry. And that can be like a string like true false. And at the same time here once one time or what does the old heater back on? Yeah. One time and that can also be a little string. And here I think we can start a new line. Now, so this I can kind of get the stuff. So this is going to be chunks that's 0. So I think if I'm going to do this, I want to do a search that uh, I kind of want to get the list of chunks. Maybe I don't. But yeah, I want to assert that the switch underneath chunks dot size is greater than 0. Greater than or equal to 1, I guess. There's always going to be that first entry that's got a preamble. It shouldn't happen if yeah, I don't know. And perhaps in the cert is like a little harsh, but yeah. Um, so I think I might just get this and like find that and we'll get that, and this can just be that, then color to that, I guess. Yeah, and then we can see to that, and yeah, it's just preamble X and preamble Y and preamble entry. What do we have there? Room entry. Or this had out. And where do I define this bool S? It's in there. I wonder if I want to define it somewhere else. Like, where do I define this unreachable? It's just an editor. Perhaps I do just want to kind of shove it up here. Because I'll probably use it in a few places. I mean, it can perhaps even just go here. And then we can just go bool yes, and do that sort of thing. And then we can go bool yes, and we can probably go back there. And you can see it's very close to what the bottom one kind of shows. And one time use, and perhaps we can like go here and do something like that. And then we should go from the kind of first option. And I think if uh, we should really have unreachable here, but it's not just yet. So we can maybe like comment it out because in fact I'm kind of surprised that it didn't. It kind of suggests to me that we cannot compile for some reason. Yeah, not found size. Links might be the link. Not found size. So find that. And I could have just done that. Deprecated use of label end of compound statement. Is that because I don't do that? Yeah, so now it does do it, but it will probably error out rather than do something helpful. unknown chunk type and supported chunk type. And we can do something like that. And I think, yeah, after we do that, we want to do something like this and like, um, and uh, yeah, maybe take that back and like, if so we have switch underneath chunks link is greater than equal well it's greater than one and then we're gonna do some stuff so if that happens we're gonna do this loop but first off we're gonna print off um, uh, chunks. So we do like we haven't like printed off the unknown stuff, I guess. Uh, and at the end here, we want to do just new line because I think I'm going to try and do it all on one line, maybe, but maybe it will be too long with that. And like, you don't know how many switches there are going to be. So I guess that's not compiling, that is compiling. But I would have thought, oh, we've still got that. So if there's no switch, then it shouldn't really do anything. But if it got there, right, so I think we do need to chuck this on a new line. But if we have chunks, we can print them all out. But what unknown stuff do I have in here? So we have known so this is it's kind of gross saying it like that, but we'll call it like that. And this can be 0 to x, and this MSB, I don't know, math seems like a bit weird. What I might do is go here and go to like room.h, I think it was, and preamble. No, it wouldn't have been H. It would be main. That's kind of where we sit there. Right. So if we do. Just, I mean, actually, I can kind of see that it's got a thing. So we can see hex of 0x1 and 0x20. It's going to be the inverse of that. And how do we uh, is that kind of what I was expecting? So this is missing too. So yeah, this is 6, and this is 6. Yeah, this kind of makes sense. Oh yeah, that's the 2. So 1 and 2 for the minus because it just puts minus because it's Python. But yeah, so in this we can remember kind of what it said. So in this, so what if I like subtract that? So just kind of make it just normal. Yeah, so it will be 40. So MSB Xerox 40. And so what's this first one doing? Chunk side, switch side. We don't actually show which side it is. So this can be side equals CX, and I guess we need to have a side of some type. And so what about this switch side? And yeah, uh, um, that seems right. And where does that get defined? There, in room.h. Ooh, we've already got it. Cool. So that should just do that. And so now hasn't really said because we've still got this open string because we haven't done that. So this MSB without that and MSB I don't know mask. What was I trying to say there? But yeah, this MSB without one time use. I might just go MSB and see if that does anything. And I think these commons are like who do I want there? I want you over here to be honest. Yeah, so I don't really put commas there. Same space maybe. So maybe I'll do the same there. Cool, and then that can just be that, but we also need to do preamble MSB, and we want to end it with 0x40. And if we still need to know it, then like, Um, but yeah, otherwise that kind of shows that. I think I might bring that down because that's gonna start making kind of new lines and whatnot. Can we? No, it's not that. I don't know. Right. So in this point here, I think I kind of just want to print out maybe the types to start with. So we have toggle block. So maybe this can just printf block, and that can just be all it does. And here we can bit and and do that. And is that our two types? Oh, and we also have object. So and this has a bunch of stuff, and then we have unexpected. And I think at that point we can probably or undo that, undo that, do that. We can probably go back to that. We're all compiling. So we have two chunks, bit and a bit. I thought it was a bit and a block. This one's the one with the block. So it's got a block and a bit. So how do we want to do that? And so this do that, do that. This is printing after like everything. Cool. And I guess if there's no switch there, we probably want the same thing as this, and just find that, and yeah, don't know how we'll create a new one yet. So now if we go off, it'll kind of say there's no switch. Create a new one. Cool. What do I want to show about each of these things? The bit one is like more interesting because like you get to modify like state of the game, but the blocks and the object are a bit easier. So what I might do is go back to see what we do in the case of printing a block. So to do that, it would need to be on the one that has the block. Did I figure out that bit? I can't remember how I figured out that bit. I would have to look through my notes because I think I did actually figure out what that bit meant. In which case it can just go up into there. This one time I would want to make a little smaller if I did that. So if we go back to here, gosh, have to like navigate all the different ways of navigating. I think yeah, I'll just do it in there. I forget the window one to. I know the window one to like. Don't want to do that. The window one to like make them equal and whatnot, but and I can make it go down to there, but yeah, I can't forget that. I can read the docs. I may not. Whether you read the docs or not is another thing. Right, so in the toggle block case, what do we say? We just say where the block is, what direction is, what block we should turn it on to, and what block we should turn it off to. So just a reminder. So I mean, I could do a little test. This may break the audio. I might sound like a crackly person, but pretty much what a block switch will do will basically set a block on or block off. I changed that tile somehow. I don't know how. Um, but yeah, this one is also one-time use. So I can't do it more than once. Which it could be, yeah, so that typed a whole bunch of stuff into here. What did I type into here? Just that. Um, yeah, I'm cool with that, but maybe take me back to, yeah. Um, yeah, I must have changed that to not actually be a tile as well. So if I go 42 there, that's made that a tile underneath. You can't see it, but like if I had turned off switches, you would have been able to see that would have. Um, I'm not too sure what is making that 54 at the moment. Kind of see it as it's like part of that, I think. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so this it's an interesting one. So this block is kind of modifying a block of I think three at this point, which I guess we can find out in a second. So in the case that we have a block, uh, we probably want to print out a bunch of stuff. So we can do the X and Y of where the block starts. And this can just be the two numbers. And this can be the size. It could be interesting to say whether it's width or height, depending on what it is. And so I think potentially, instead of saying size and direction, could just say width or height. Um, so I might do that and all be brackets just to kind of show that. And we can say how much it is. And then we can say like the on is equal to 0 to x and the off is equal to and like this I could do like on off equal to percent 0 to x divided by percent 0 to x, something like that. I reckon that could be cool. And I think at this point we probably want to do a new line. I think every chunk wants to be a separate thing. But we might start there. Right, so we've got a few arguments that we want to shove to this. So the first is going to be chunk x. And I assume this, yeah, so it's just chunk x, chunk y. And here is where I want to do, so if chunk the equals vertical, then I want to say height. Otherwise, I want to say width. And that just condenses two of those variables into one. Like, and then we can go chunk off and chunk on. and do something like that. And I think this will kind of just update this as I save it, if it all files correctly. I feel like it is not. So it is not. We got here. I did not put a semicolon. So hold on, we can use this. I can add a semicolon. I can save it again and look at that. Kind of adds in the stuff that is needed. So I wonder if this. I kind of wonder if I want to need to add a little more. And I mean, in this case, I wonder if we just all of them we want to do a printf, do a little indent, and then don't need to remember to do that. That'll be kind of cool. Yeah. Cool. So that kind of shows some stuff. This is not doing it right. So we got width equals null, which is not quite what I want. So I guess I want to do chunk width. No, it's going to be size. So I think that is what I want. Segfault is cool. So yeah, we're compiling it as we run. And make sure the terminal is in a good state. So we're allowed to kind of edit it. So this doesn't segfault cool. The rightmost one doesn't segfault cool. And I think if that is the case, I want to not print a new line there because we're kind of printing a new line for everyone anyhow. And then it prints like an extra one at the end. Perhaps I don't need to because those already do. Cool. So we have 2 bits and we just don't do anything with them yet. I think I want to just add a kind of thing, just because I won't do them both at once. The bit and object. So if we go to that, it will say an object. If we go to that, it will say a bit. If we go to this, it will not segfault. It just won't print us anything. Then it's segfaults. Cool. So what I might do is we can it's kind of annoying doing no, I think I can do debugging with this, but I think I want to do cc equals gcc make, and it will just make it with a different editor. Right, and so this is kind of telling us some of the problem, and that will probably be the issue, to be honest, that this S needs to be a D because we're printing the size, not the string. And so it would have been trying to print a string at address 1, 2, 3, which is not a string. And so if we do this again, it's all good with that. And if we do this, it's like all good. So if we go up here, object to do, that's fine. If we go to this one, bit to do, that's fine. If we go here, block, cool. X, Y, did we, yeah, do that, no, and do that, and do that, X, Y, cool, 15.4, that looks right, on, off will show what it is on and off, and I feel like the on and off, are back to front. In fact, like I guess I will do a play. Yeah, so it is. It's got those, so they'll be 53, I guess. And it is on the like off state. I don't know, like what's an on state and what's an off state. This guy's in the wrong room. I moved him there, and so he has opened that. In so I guess I would say that is. I wonder if that's like going on and off over and over. Um, yes, undo whatever change just got made, redo that one, just don't do that one. Cool. Um, yeah, I wonder if the on and off are just back. Um, I've actually just written them back to front there. Yeah, that makes more sense. So, do we want to? Um, if we're in a hex mode, if we're in hex mode, we do a thing, printf data, cool. That's it's kind of annoying. So we have to um, go out for both of them. So we can do something like that, and do this, and then here, then do printf data of do that, do that, do that, do that, data of that, and then that should print like. No, I need to print it with just a lonely comma in the middle, and like. So this is because we're in. I think I want it back the way it was. Tiles are never displayed as decimal. Like all of the 54 is the tile 54. So I think this should potentially be 42. But yeah, how do we change that width? Could be cool to change that, like on the fly in the editor. We've got a bunch of keys. What key haven't we really? Um, I guess. Um, this could be. So there's no key W, for example, and there's also no key H. There is a key H. I always forget about that key H. Uh, but there's no key G. So what I could do is in here we could say uh, like highlight the fact that no, that looks gross. Well, I can do like uh, is it that? No, it's that. Yeah, that. And then we can do 1M. And then that. I think that is. That's not what I want. When was the last time we did something like that? It's an open quote. Cool. That is easily fixed. Yeah, take me to the other. Oh, no. Redo, take me to the other and do the same. Then that should, it's slightly highlighted W. I don't know if it's highlighted enough, but well, it's potentially fine. I might just check the old things. We're all still good. Um, uh, 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 that's all good. Cool. So I guess what I want to do is so if I go on this one, it shows height. Perhaps I want to make a pocket of the G. I mean, this in itself doesn't actually make me happy, but now this G is slightly highlighted, and like I don't know, within I don't know. And we could also do something like the N and the F. But the problem is, how do we select which chunk that we're actually editing? Yeah, I think that is in itself the tricky thing because if, for example, we go over here, this has 2 bits, and I mean, it could have 2 blocks or something like that. Very similar. So you almost need to uh, like select which one is done. So I think I might take the highlights away, and we won't worry about how we edit the particular thing. We'll just show the information. Cool. So if there's the case, we do that. So what do we do if it was a bit? So here we I might go to the object first. So and I see the value is it could be anything there. You know what? I hit bit, so we'll go to bit. Right. So if we look at toolbit, what does it have? It has an on and it has an off, and it has an index, a bit mask. No, it was toggle block, which might be interesting. Let's go out of this level. So Spider goes here. The If we go up now, so here we have a couple of switches that are interesting. So I think this one, it has a block which the Y is actually out of bounds, and that is what is now overriding just random data. And that is what I kind of want to look at. Because that could be kind of interesting. Maybe I'll put that there and then switch what was that? Because that is when we're like kind of writing arbitrary data, arbitrary, arbitrary. We can only just do this, and I want to do something like that. And if chunk y is greater than height tiles, so if it's greater than equal to do that, and I just want to see if that happens, right? So it happens there. This one, uh, right? So that doesn't. But yeah, I guess what I really need to test is at the moment I'm 21, and what is this? It's 22. So I think if it's equal to height tiles, that is good. And I think that is really the case here. And what I can do here is if chunk is greater than, then we'll say it's like unknown at the moment. What I kind of really want is to get chunk x times row. Do we have where do I define u? U are defined there in width tiles, yeah. So chunk width tiles, and if we get that, because we might have an X that's quite out of bounds. So like who knows how people might do it. So if this is equal to the whole thing, and I think I want to, if it's does that, we can go way out of bounds. So hopefully it doesn't show that. I've lost the cool. So this just isn't even matching it now. So I think I want that plus that. It's greater than that. Yeah, now we get that. So find the x, it's now y, and find the y, it's now an x, now an x. And yeah, that should, that's made it way out of bounds. All right. So I just want to say tiles like that, which would be like 2 times. No, no, really, that's the test I want to do. Yeah, cool. So we get foo, and like it, potentially, if it modifies it further and further off the bottom of the screen, then we can do something like that. So what I might want to do here is we can do a switch on. I kind of want to get so this is going to get like a offset, I guess. So size T offset. This is going to be we want to get and this is potentially a better way to do it. So this is bigger than the whole thing. So we can now subtract that whole thing. But I guess that means we need to bias back to equal that thing that is there. I didn't quite get the incantation right, and then bias find that. Um, uh, and so that's going to be our offset. And so now if the so I kind of want to go to room.h now, and in we have a room object. No, is that right? Because you're like modifying the bottom of the screen to like edit the so what holds this thing? Oh yeah, so this is the kind of data that I want. So we kind of have this decompressed version. Um and what we want to do is I kind of want to tie it back to this, and I've got some like deprecated stuff. I don't know what that kind of means. What's my process going to be? But yeah, so if this offset is greater than size of, and this is going to be that whole thing. It's got some like extra random garbage at the end that, yeah. So I guess this can be offset of, and so like offset of like, does this give a little thing a type then a member? So the type is going to be the compressed room, and the member is going to be end marker. If it is greater than equal than that, and like I guess this should get that whole thing subtracted off, which makes me want that whole thing. Like the compiler will surely do it. Because these two are constants. Pilot can multiply the constants, get pilot can subtract that off whatever the offset is, because the offset of includes this whole thing, and we kind of want to ignore that part. So what we want to do is do that, and it's way out of bounds if that's the case. So if we did that, we can't compile that, but we could compile that. No, we can't compile that. Doesn't have decompressed room. Now, does that mean we have to like kind of get this in a more public place, or no, this is fine. So do we not have room.h? We do have room.h. Um, what was the error? Decompress room uncompleted. So I think the man page has screwed me up. What we want is like an instance of that. Is that returns the offset of the field member at the start of the structure type. And examples show we have a structure there, and we give just struct s. So we give the type and we give the offset. I would have thought that this decompressed room is kind of available. Why is you not? We have struct. Oh, do we need to call this struct decompressed room? All right, so maybe make you guys equal again. Um, decompress. So this is a struct decompressed room. So we could probably have like a so size t. This is going to be like overflow, and this is going to be width tiles times height tiles, and I am not sure what I was up to there. So that's going to be there, and then this we can just change the overflow, and so it's t in, and this is just going to be that minus overflow. And here this can be like end. We're not hovering over a thing. Cool. So here it doesn't put the foo. No, it does put the foo, but it doesn't put the way out of bounds. Cool. So that's roughly what I kind of wanted. And now we can do like a switch on offset, and we can potentially do a thing. We can case offset of struct decompressed room end marker. Well, actually, we already have the end. So what we can do is no, because we don't want the end marker. So this is going to be like a tile offset. But we want to subtract overflow. I think you can do stuff like this in a case statement. I am not too sure. So what I'm going to do is see if it compiles. So constant expression expected. Cool. So what I can do is I didn't want to do that. Room.h and decompressed room. That's still somewhat of a good check, but this can be now just this, and like if it's offset 0, then this is I want to do some even a magic, so we can do something like this, and we're not going to hit end marker. So I want to basically print what type it is. So I think for everything, I want to get rid of everything. And here, they're all 1 bytes, which makes it very handy. So here, what we can do is, I might even just go here and, ooh, do something like that, and then like here we want to, like almost. All right, we've got this. What I'll do is we'll find the colon, uh, and we'll replace it with that. Hear me out. Um, that didn't do what I wanted. Right, so we'll find the colon and we'll replace from there with that, and we'll go there, and we can go there, and we've got what 12 of those. One more, and I'll just bring you up to speed, and the name's a little different. Maybe we'll keep that a little different. Um, so what we're going to do here is now we're going to go from the start. We can just do something like printf, do something like that to kind of start it off. And now how do I like sum this? So what I kind of want to do is from here, we'll go down one, we'll find the colon. In fact, we'll go up from the colon, then we'll yank backwards, which should get the 0. Then we'll go here, then we'll paste it before us. Nah, maybe we'll paste it after, and then we'll delete backwards, and then we'll increment, and then we'll just go to the start. And then that should, yeah, cool. So now we can do 11 of those that struggled to do that. I don't know why it struggled to do that. All right, so we're not out of that. 11. What is? The macros can be hard. And so this is just going to be like default. And, and we can probably just check that somewhere in 5. And that is going to be that. And so I think that is kind of going to print out that, and like maybe do like an assert false. So we don't want that anymore. We'll see what's happening over here. We'll bring that back. Oh yeah, I see what's happening. We are like still printing this. So what I want to do is this is the overflow overflow point. And so I think something like that, they'll go negative. Uh, I think this is what I want, and usually that, and we can just have that. Haven't looked at this project in a while, so it's a little slow. And what was the thing that we were doing? Offset. And so this can be overflow. And here we can just change this to if greater equal to overflow, which makes a bit more sense at a readability status, I reckon. Otherwise, we can just print that message. Now it should only show room south. That is what we're editing with this lock. So I think I potentially don't want to say block if it's this case. Because it blocks more obvious when it's like this. So I think this is when I'll do something like that. And then here, I think I want to say, this is, what is it? It's like data, right? Memory. Maybe I'll just call it memory. And then all of these bad boys can have a little space, and then just some of these bad boys can. Room South does look legit though, because this switch can't use the mouse, but yeah, this switch would change the room south, which is currently foyer, but it would change it to room's end. And we can see, well, we don't actually know what it's writing there. So what we're writing is memory south, and the value is going to be, I believe it's just on or off. Just checking on the disk and making a little thing. Yeah, there's a few things. Few things I can do from this step. So this point here, like, why does the size does matter? So I guess this is going to be for offset is going to be that. So like what the thing is this could potentially be overriding multiple memory points at once, and I guess I could do a little test. So we start there. Maybe if I create a sorry, the thing's not quite showing. So if we patch room 1, and we put what switches, we add a new one, dot x, and this is going to be, we just want it to be, we do, yeah, 1 and dot y is 21, and then we want to do dot chunks and then add a new one, and then do something. I think I want to do explicit 1 there. And here I want to say height is going to be a, a total block, and the dot x is going to be 0, and dot y is going to be 22. And boom, that's made a little switch. So here, if we kind of look at that, so the memory is currently looking at can we do this? Is like, it doesn't really show which switch it is. So we can do something like display in 1, and then that would show me it's switch 6. Could be a useful thing to return, but I don't know, this tool is janky as. But yeah, here if we get the dot x and call it 1 instead, then it should be like read the room at the wrong time. And here we get tile offset. Was that what we had before? Oh no, we're just changing dot. Now I want to get dot front 1 dot x. We have it set to 0. If we set it to 1, it's background. If we set it to 2, north. So stuff like that. But we can also do dot size and call it 2. And this should now, so if I maybe bring it back to room north, so perhaps I can do this. So it's room south, but it's also it's got a size of 2, so it's actually going to modify 2 values. So what I want to do is maybe do a play, and that will do a thing. And here, if I try and jump over, it's like there was no room there. If I try and walk over now that I've switched the switch, it still hasn't. Oh, that's like calculated. Yeah, that's calculated at a different time. So what I need to do is maybe, I don't know, he can just have a little space, just so the game knows that it is possible to go that way. So if we try and jump through, it's like it wasn't the right room. If we try and go through, it's going to be switching, isn't it? I think I need to do this and 1 time use and 1, and do that. So now if I play that, I believe this should do the trick. Apologies if the audio quality gets like real average. So it isn't doing it now. I should have switched it. Now, I'm not actually saying what I'm meant to be writing. So if we get this and chunks 1 dot off, we can set this to be 5 4. Well, actually, no, we can set it to be I don't know, it's 63. 0.63. So now we are writing in 63, size of 2, at that position. This display still shows it that way, but I'm hoping the new way will kind of do that. Cool. So there's nothing there now, but we've switched the switch. It's not doing what I want. That's frustrating. Because yeah, it should be room south, but it should be size 2, and I thought that would have done the trick. What I might do is just see whether it is actually overriding it there, and maybe have a listen to see whether the switch is being switched. Because yeah, a little confusing. A switch is done. Yeah, so this is not switching anything, but if we go down, there's a interesting. One time use the side, it's on the top. So the other thing is I would, and down from here, we can make a little pit for Spidey, just so the game knows that there is nothing below. So when he falls in, he should be able to fall in. So if we jump in there, that's crashed the game, and is that be crashed. The music was still playing though, and it's kind of interesting. So what was I trying to write there? I think I need to. I was trying to write 63, which don't was no. So I just want to write 63. Whatever that is, which is 3F. That makes more sense. I was trying to go to a very very high level. Cool. So down here, it's still not letting me. Yeah, so we got to the end. It's just interesting that I thought it would have done. So if we have there, if we have that and dot size, which is currently 2, maybe if we make it like 8, this should be setting a whole lot of stuff, like background, like all sorts of things, as well as the top and bottom. Hadn't really done much, and it hadn't changed that. Interesting. It's kind of interesting that it hasn't done that. So the size is 8. I'm gonna aborted. I should fix that. Like it sometimes crashes when it's trying to read at the same time as writing. So this bad boy is just the background, and so if we play, it hasn't really changed the background either. And now we're in a pit. But if we did this, it would do the trick. Yeah. All right. So maybe size is just irrelevant if you go out of bounds. And like, what was size can be just two again. Cool. All right. Well, I guess that kind of opens up a question. That size doesn't matter. So it basically does one of these, and it will do a value. So we can do a printf on off equals go to x, go to x. And something like that. And I think that is pretty much that. And so we need a little space. Cool. And so now we'll kind of show that. It's kind of a new line where I feel like oh wait, no, it's yeah, interesting. I need to update the screen required to be like however many. Yeah. So if we're debugging switches, that currently way up the top of this giant method, if you are debugging methods, golly, it just gives you one line. That's kind of what that is kind of meaning. So what I think I need to do is this does like this stuff I feel needs to be above so we kind of know all the right steps. Yeah, I feel like I do need to not that much. Nah, like go there and just copy go here and there. Cool, that is the one I want. So get all of these things. See, that's like printing stuff, but I think all of this I want to yoink up there and kind of bring up before this kind of check. Um, and then here we needed like do a like if we're doing this, we want uh, to do actual size, and they'll be kind of looping over all the things. Now, can this kind of compile that? So we haven't got a room. Where do we declare that a room? So we get it from here, and this is just getting like the room name as well. That's right. Yeah, and that's like just below there. We just need you to be all the way up here. Maybe a bit more. Maybe like here. Maybe actually here and like do that sort of thing. Um, can you compile? Right, so that can compile that. Um, so I think that should be like kind of complaining at this stage. And so uh, memory. So this is if we have this sort of thing. Uh, yeah, so if we do this sort of thing, and if this is the case, then we want to do some like looping over that. So I think I want to like do a little temporary. If that is the case, then uh, we want to do stuff based on this, and that's only from that point there. But we print two for the switch, and then we print one for every type. I think that is what I kind of want to do, and so I made a to do. Or was it a fix? No, it was there. Cool. So if this is we want to print one line. If we are if we're debugging the switch, we want to add one line to say to do. I guess. But if a switch exists, then we I think we want to do that here, and we want to add two lines here. But then we also want to just add this many uh, fun two, but then that minus one, so maybe just one plus that. I think that is that. And here we do like um, this thing, and we have a little message. So if we're in target mode, we should do offset y plus plus to say that there's a message. It feels like a little double handling doing this. Like, I mean, I could, I don't know. Yeah, like at this point here, it's like, yeah, push the thing off the screen. At this point here, it's done more. This should be two actually, but I feel it should be that seems right, but it's just printing an extra new line, which is kind of pushing it off, or perhaps the like go to be honest. So when we do this, yes, that yes, take me there. So we don't print one there, but after we print this, we should be printing. So we have two new lines there. Should be here. Um, and like, is this? Yeah, that it's literally just a new line. So I wonder if I'm accidentally printing a new line where I don't want to be. It doesn't seem like I am. And if I don't do that, that goes away. But then if I go to um uh this had something going on with it. Why are we starting up there? Oh, this needs resetting, I think. We're picking up um uh, I hate it when you break stuff. So we do a lot of stuff. Nah, that's too far too. So in the redraw, we are doing some things. Do we print this name, which kind of mucks things up? We're just doing some things. And here, do we do anything? We're just collecting all the switches and stuff, and then we do the thing, and then we say whether we need um yeah, and then we go and print the thing. Um so when do we print ourselves, I guess, is what I kind of want to say. And I think like we um this seems weird. Um let's like go back to the top. Let's say that cool. This is saying all of that. This is saying that. So when did we print ourselves? It would have been when we looped over everything up. because I think it's no, so we'll still have that. Must be, yeah, that. And so this tile, is it just overloaded? Um, oh yes, that's like showing the actual tile underneath. Same with that. And at this point here, like tile is just meant to be set by something. I wonder if it's I wonder if that makes a difference. That's not a good thing. Was tile a thing like from the get go? Where is there like a we had a better search there. No, it is just there. Like they'll break stuff, sure, yeah. Huh. And we're just printing this at a random spot, like we're not like go toing or anything. I feel like we should be doing a little go to maybe that. Yeah, that seems a bit better. So we start there and we can move about. Um, when that happens, we need more space. Align too much, I think. Um, so where we have the two plus, yeah, do something like that. I think we want to do that. So that's looking good. And if we go one more up, it'll be like nah. But if we go here, then this is good. But then that's we had a oh, there's like a printf new line that just begging to be printed. I'm a bit lost in this function. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So at this point here, we just took it away. That's right. So if we have a chunk, if we loop the chunk, if we loop the chunk after every one, we want to do that. And I think, see that I don't want to do that if I'm on the last one. So it's doing it twice. That makes sense. But yeah, I don't want to do it the second time. So like if I is equal to that thing, I guess -1. If this is less than that, then it still didn't do it. If that's less than that, cool. So now prints both of them, but it doesn't do it. If I try and go up, that is too much. But yeah, that now I think needed to have the y plus equal 1 plus that. I do want to be perfect. And like it's kind of a gross. It will like depend on how many chunks like each thing has, but I think for that case it's probably fine. I don't know. So what don't we have there? So yeah, worked out that this only changes one byte of memory. So if you have, you would just have to have multiple of these of size 1 to write the bytes. There was one kind of hypothesis I had, but I never actually tested it. Right, so what is another type of thing? There's the bit, which, oh, the bit just does things. I mean, if we kind of do a dot out, you can display 1. The bit is like, oh, that one total bit. Oh no, bit doesn't do too much. It just shows that, but it doesn't really. I don't know what it kind of means from the offset of that. Um, like what does index 0 mean? What does bit mask mean? What does that mean? Which I believe in maybe in room.c there was this they I did have kind of a printf kind of saying what I thought it might have been doing, but yeah, I think maybe. I mean, what I can do is just kind of get it showing there, and yeah, I'm wondering if just to uh, kind of leave it there because I don't know, I'm getting a wee bit tired, and this is kind of showing what one thing is doing. It will show the block, but it will also show like the types when you have like under where it's more memory. It's the same type under the hood, but I think that kind of is cool. But yeah, some of it will be like bit. What does bit mean? I mean, like you can play the game and see that when I push this, this does a certain thing. It, so like that chain that like talks to that switch. It's kind of like linking switches together. Just wondering how best to display that sort of thing, but yeah. Just notice bottom actually goes off the top of the thing, which it does make it mean that there potentially was another line there, but there was not. But yeah, I wonder if one time this sort of thing, um, I could just call once inside something like that, makes it all fit in. Um, but yeah, no, that's looking cool. And this bit we're here, he also has a bit. I believe he like operates on this little door, but how we get there might open one of these. There's a few switches in here. Like that one has too many to list. But yeah, no, cool. Next step would be kind of editing some stuff. Uh, Take me back to the first level things. Like now that I've made this switch, how do I change what it's doing? Like I can change the byte that it's on, so I can say like it's a 33 and now it's back to a 68. But I can't change what the memory is pointing to unless I break out into that kind of chunk program. But yeah, need to decide how to like select which chunk you're on because at the moment I'm in a tile edit mode. It will do the tile edit mode of the thing underneath it straight away. But I guess at this point here, C's taken. I could change the name of chunks to be like steps. And then like S could go into a mode where you then select which chunk of the switch you want to kind of edit. Um, there's also this little guy up here, which yeah, I kind of want to think of what to do here. I mean, it shows nothing at the moment, but there is actually a. This is a switch that is modifying this, so it could be cool to show that. But if there's a switch on top of it, that would take precedence in showing what it is. But perhaps you could also show whether you've got some underlying stuff. But yeah, plenty of stuff to do. What I might do is quit out of that and like just add all of this back up. So this was kind of just showing the this was when I did a lot of stuff, yeah. So this was actually doing a bit of things, but in essence, it was kind of showing jumps. Uh, so show chunk debug info. Ah, sorry. This shows well, toggle block, well, with what's the word along with like memory overriding. Cool. And like that can go up somewhere. That's on GitHub, or I think I've got yeah, that's on GitHub. Yeah. So that was it takes a decade to start. Oh, it's because I like killed it. Yeah, that probably kind of want to. Yeah, but yeah, it's I don't know. I kind of want to just leave that for now and maybe show enough Firefox, and you can go over there and yeah, we can go to github.com Debug, and where was it? Spider editor. So I've got this little thing here. I mean, it gives some information on how to do stuff, but cool. That's there. Um, Thank you very much for watching. If you've made it this far, this is kind of exciting. Ugh, broke my thing. This went out of bounds. Um, but yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah, if you enjoy this, or interested in other programming content, I work on other projects. I've got like a shell on the go. I've done some crypto stuff. I've done some. I've got an operating system kicking about. Plenty of stuff to do. I also play games occasionally, but I find enjoyment out of understanding how things work. So sometimes I just break games and write editors for them. But yeah, thanks for watching, and till next time, see ya.